All right, we are seems to be recording. Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the All Things Sports podcast. My name is Zach Bischoff, and I am joined by my co-host Danny Shanholzer. To start, we would like to thank everyone that tuned into episode 1. We appreciate you listening. We hope that you continue to listen, and we hope we get a couple of loyal listeners to listen every week. Hopefully, but we'll see. Our podcast is now available basically everywhere that you can get podcasts right now. Amazon or Apple, Apple, Samsung, Google, and Spotify coming soon. We've hit some snags with the submission process, but we'll hopefully get those ironed out soon. Also, we are on iHeartRadio. All right, today we're going to be talking about the first segment, the NHL. We'll be talking about the Pens and Rangers series, um, the play of the goaltenders Igor Shesterkin and Louis Domingue, the officiating gong show, as I like to say, that occurred last evening. And we have to mention that this show is being pre-recorded due to the fact that both of us are unavailable on Friday. However, this episode will be dropping on Friday at about 3 p.m. Anyway, the Sidney Crosby injury and the Washington and Florida game that occurred last night. We'll start there. So the Washington Capitals and Florida Panthers played last night. The Capitals went out to a 3-1 lead against the Florida Panthers, who are the best team in the NHL. And they blew the lead and ended up being 5-3 in favor of Florida. And we'll talk about Danny, do you want to talk about the recap of the Pens and Rangers series to date?
Yeah. So obviously, well, going back to the kind of connecting to my next point here, going back to the Florida Washington series. What Washington unfortunately did seems oddly familiar to what happened to the Penguins a couple games ago. I mean, going up 4-1, what was it, and then them tying it in 9 minutes. I thought that was interesting. And yeah, I mean, obviously would have loved to have closed out the series last night. We had chances at the end there, man. Mm-hmm. We had chances for sure. But little recap, I'm sure a lot of you know, it's 3-2 currently in favor of the Penguins. Mm-hmm. Game 6, I believe, Friday in Pittsburgh. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was an interesting game. I mean, and just been an interesting series in general. I mean, Igor Shesterkin, Vezina Trophy winner for the regular season. I mean, I think that just shows that the playoffs are a different animal, and so yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, and going in reverse order now, we're going to be talking about the officiating last night. I'll be taking most of this point. The officiating last night was wildly inconsistent. The fact and like the Penguins last game got a 5-on-3 after the Rangers took a slashing call and a roughing call in the same play. That puts us in a 5-on-3 situation. 2-man advantage, right? 35 seconds into the game.
That's crazy.
And then I said to myself that the next one will be on us. The next penalty will be on us because that's how NHL playoff officiating seems to go. So, and I think that now I'm not going to blame the ref for losing the game, but I think it did play a part just all night because they were like all of a sudden high elbows and everything. That's going to be my next point, which is we already covered Crosby injury, but yeah, it's just officiating is wildly inconsistent. It's not even just the NHL. It's NHL, MLB, everything.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead, Doc.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I think as a whole, right, and if you look at all the sports, right, we've got to have a better baseline of what officiating is supposed to look like in the regular season, and it should translate to the postseason because
Right.
players are playing the same game. We're watching the same game, right? And I don't think. I mean, you make a great point, Zach. It's. I mean, the hit on Crosby goes uncalled, right? I mean, in the regular season, that might have been a 5 minute.
Yeah, that should have been. That no call, and the problem, and here's the thing with that. Circling back to Crosby hit or Trouba hit, excuse me, that he has a significant history of doing other things like that. Like I saw like local media on Twitter the other day was citing videos of, oh, this is Trouba in like December doing the same thing to somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
And that was a non-call, no discipline. I saw today the NHL well, confirmed through a source anyway, that there are no hearings or fines related to anything that happened last night. So there will be nothing from the league further. And I just think there needs to be something done about. But I also think the Penguins need to pick up somebody like a Ryan Reeves, who the next time that happens, he he hits him hard.
Interesting that you kind of. And I'm just curious to see how that hit. I mean, Crosby been playing amazing as of late. I think it'll be interesting to see like how. I think there's going to be a lot of scrums in Game 6 and 7.
Oh yeah.
You even saw it at the end of the game, some John going on. So I think that'll be.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll be interesting. That's always interesting to watch in a 7 games, especially when a guy takes out your captain like that. I mean, you got to respond in some capacity.
Yeah, so here's this. So I don't know if you saw this. So Malkin, that was behind the net, our alternate captain of getting Malkin, he was manhandled, to put it nicely. And somehow he ended up in the box. I don't know how that is. So there's something else about inconsistencies. Like, why are we, it's stupid. Like they're calling these little like pushes and everything. They're pointing to guys and sending them to the box. I'm like, what are we doing here? Anyway.
We need you in charge of officiating, Zach.
I know, I should be.
That's what we need.
Whole league would change if I was in charge. Anyway, well, I have enough on my hands with this podcast. So, and then that wraps up the NHL segment. We forgot to mention our next segment, the college football. We're going to be covering the Jordan Addison transfer and how Pitt will fare the season without Addison or Pickett. We will be right back right here on the All Things Sports Podcast. Welcome back to the second segment of the All Things Sports Podcast. And we're going to be talking about college football, specifically the question of how Pitt will fare without Jordan Addison and Pickett. So we will lead off with that. Then we will get into our season predictions for the Panthers. Well, specifically, Danny's Pitt season predictions, and mine will be in the next episode.
That's the way, Zach. We gotta entice the people.
That's exactly what I'm doing. All right, so Danny, how do you think Pitt will fare without either of the two people that I've mentioned before?
Yeah, I mean, look. So here's my thing with Pitt, right? So we're coming off an ACC championship win against Wake Forest, which is one of the best college football games I saw last year.
Right.
And that was just a great game, right? And I mean, Pickett had the infamous fake slide. He played out his mind, and with him going he's obviously gone to the Steelers now. First round pick.
Mhm.
And so I think that we'll miss Pickett for sure. I mean, he's been our guy for a solid couple of seasons now. And we have this new transfer, USC transfer, Keaton Slovis, that people have been speaking pretty highly of. It seems like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I think we'll miss Pickett for sure. I think like we're really gonna have to. Ever since like James Conner, we haven't really like fully like developed a run game. I know AJ Davis has been around for a while, but he's
Right.
never really gotten it going for us. So I think we need to like establish a more balanced offense, because I don't think Slovis, as good as he might be, I mean Pickett was swinging around 45, 50 times a game. So I don't think we can quite do that. And I think go along to that point with Addison going in the transfer portal, going to Texas now, I think we're just gonna have to adapt our offense to more like I mean, he was our deep threat guy, he was our home run threat guy. So I think we'll have to really try and get like the intermediate passing game going, like a lot of stuff in the middle of the field, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where it is and or where it goes here, and I'll never stop rooting for Pitt, Zach.
Correct. Held a Pitt. All right, now our next and I think final point for this episode, unless we have something else to add, will be our Danny's win-loss predictions for Pitt.
After that, real quick, I do want to touch on the Jordan Addison transfer.
Yes. Yeah, we actually we could do that now. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, just I was talking about Addison, and I should have went into him transferring originally, but so I think Addison transferring to Texas, I believe now it is. He was originally committed to going to USC, which would have been interesting because Slovis is coming from USC to Pitt, and now Addison's transferring from. That would have been an interesting storyline, but I mean, I think it this whole transfer portal ordeal here shows how much of an influence NIL has. I mean, you got guys that are gonna start going to whichever school offers them the most
money.
The most money, and I think the school with the most funding is gonna have an advantage out of the gate, I think, because they're gonna get all the best players because they're willing to pay the money.
Yeah, and I think you've extended a really good olive branch here, and NIL, excuse me, is going to change the landscape of college football. It's gonna, I think guys are, correct me if I'm wrong, I think are hiring agents now. I think they have to.
Yeah.
Like NIL related affairs. So that'll be interesting to see like how that changes over the next couple of years. All right, now, if we're nothing else to add to that topic, I assume. So we're going to move into Danny's predictions. I am just going to list game by game here, and you're going to say win or loss.
I got you, Zach. I like this game.
West Virginia.
W.
Tennessee.
W.
Western Michigan.
W, but it's close. It's close.
Okay. And just we've signed out, we are running out of time on our Zoom meeting, but we can proceed. Rhode Island.
W.
Georgia Tech.
W.
Virginia Tech.
L.
Louisville.
L.
North Carolina.
W.
Really? Syracuse.
W.
Virginia.
L.
Duke.
W. Close again. Shouldn't be close.
And Miami.
L.
Okay. All right.
So real quick, my thought process behind that. I think Pitt will, on paper, look really good through the first 5 games or so. I think we'll match up against West Virginia and Tennessee very well. And we got a couple. Like the Western Michigan game that's a trap game because we lost that game last year. But I think like I have a couple just back-to-back losses that like I just think like Pitt always starts out super strong and then we just like lose the games we're supposed to win, and sometimes we're not supposed to.
Yeah, like that Western Michigan game was a horrible loss, and that's I think now for the record, I don't think we would have made the CFP anyway, but if we would have won against Western Michigan, we might have had a chance.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with college football too. I mean, one loss, and so I think I have us winning how many games? I think again I could see us being close to getting into a very high caliber bowl. I don't think we're quite there yet. So that's
all right. So unfortunately, due to time constraints out beyond our control, we do have to wrap up the show. We're sorry if this is a little bit shorter than before. I mean, we might be at 27 minutes, 28 minutes here. So we apologize because we have a 40-minute limit on Zoom right now. We have to look into other options there. So we will. Danny, anything else to add briefly?
I just want to say thank you to all the people listening, and excited to see where this goes again.
Yeah, I am very excited to see where this goes. We hope you all enjoyed episode 2 of the All Things Sports podcast, and we will talk to you next Friday. Bye-bye, everybody.